Welcome to the Your Child is Your Guide podcast, where we come together and level up in our ability to shift from feeling victim of parenthood to empowered creators, experiencing more connection and peace in parenthood. All things empowered and peaceful parenting in bite-sized chunks so it is easily digested for even the busiest parent. The intention behind this podcast is to provide support that leads to reduced overwhelm, spanking, screaming, chronic negative self-talk, mom guilt, shame, and feeling victim to parenthood and our children's behavior. The intention of this podcast and its episodes is to deconstruct many of the generational thought patterns and cycles in a simple way that leads to us all leaving each episode feeling more free, empowered, and able to handle whatever life throws our way moving forward. I am your host, Michelle Bowen. I'm the author of 2 books, Your Child is Your Guide and Super Practical, Peaceful, and Empowered Parenting. I am a mother to a 9-year-old little lady, and I am a parent empowerment coach. So hey, welcome. Just a brief recap on the previous episodes. We've discussed that we are on the same team as our children, and that loving our children does not equal spoiling our children. We've also discussed that setting the intention to parent peacefully is very humbling. Because it makes all of the thoughts, beliefs, and programming come to the surface that are not in alignment with that intention. All of the stuff that we have been believing or thinking that has led to us reacting in ways that no longer resonate with who and what we are, right? And that can be very humbling to look within, to look at ourselves in that way, and to get skillful at looking at ourselves, looking within ourselves, without judgment and condemnation, but rather from compassion and understanding. Understanding that we learned these patterns and these habits and these thought forms over time after we were born. And so we can unlearn them if they are no longer resonating with who and what we feel ourselves to be. We've also discussed that through our awareness of our egoic tendencies and patterns and habits that we picked up that we may no longer feel are resonating or serving us in parenthood and in general, through our awareness, more peace and wisdom start to take over, right? We've also discussed that instead of hitting our children or arguing with them or having power struggles, that those patterns are able to be dissolved or transformed to the degree that we prioritize our peace, to the degree that we give ourselves permission to be more aware. And so in this particular episode, I wanted to briefly discuss how, this is not about becoming a conscious or empowered parent or becoming a gentle parent. It's about getting clear on what you want. It's about prioritizing peace above everything else on this entire planet, putting our peace first, literally, making peace our number one priority above all else and keeping that at the forefront of our awareness, but moment to moment, to the best of our ability, right? To the best of our ability. It's not about becoming anything. You're already amazing just the way that you are. Your life is unfolding the way it needs to for you, unique to you, in a way that helps you learn what you're here to learn, in a way that helps you get clear on what you want moving forward and what you've experienced in the past that you don't want to continue. It's not about becoming anything. You don't need to become anything. You are already beautiful, radiant, just the way that you are, no matter what has happened in your past. We've all been learning and growing. It doesn't change that you are already amazing, just the way you are, powerful, just the way you are, particularly when you are clear and when we are not identifying with all of the negative and low vibe thoughts that we have been conditioned to give our attention to, right? It's not about having to be a certain way, right? It's not about having to be or parent your child just the way that Joe and Jack and Aisha down the street parent their children. It's not about parenting our children just like Michelle or Sam. It's about getting clear on what you want and giving yourself permission to parent authentically, to say yes when you feel yes, no when you feel no, and to parent from your core, to parent from your peace, your natural state of being. Why do I call it your natural state? Because when we flip out and get pissed off, what always happens? We don't stay there. We don't stay identified with those temporary emotions that come and go. No, they're temporary. We always end up coming back down to what? Our natural state, peace. It always happens inevitably, right? When we are super sad or when we're super excited because something just happened, right? What always happens before bed at minimum, like even if it doesn't happen throughout the day often, at least before you go to sleep at night or during sleep, what always happens, you always come back to your natural state, peace, right? So it's not about having to be a certain way. It's about giving yourself permission more and more to be your true self, to be authentic, and to get more clear about what you want so that you can see with more clarity what is not in alignment with who and what you truly are or who you're here to be as a parent, right? So it's not at all about having to be a certain way. There's no shoulds or should nots. It's about giving yourself permission to parent in a way that feels good to you. That's how you take your power back. It's about taking your power back. We've been conditioned to believe that taking our power back means I'm right, you're wrong, I'm the parent, you're the child, right? Like being super masculine about it, like taking our power back, like I'm boss. I spank you, I scream at you. You have to do what I say because I'm the boss. I'm older, I'm wiser, all this other stuff. No, we've been programmed and conditioned to believe that that's what taking our power back looks like, that it looks like war, war. Energetically and just physically, we've been conditioned to believe that taking your power back is war. No, taking our power back is peace. It's giving yourself permission to act from, think from, speak from your connection to the peace that is always within you, to the love that is always within you, authentically and unapologetically, right? Giving yourself permission to be that peace no matter what your child is doing. That's taking your power back. We give our power away when we match other people's energy, when we lower our vibe, when we lower our energy just to be able to hang out with that friend who we kind of felt like it wasn't resonating for us to hang out with anymore, or when we ignore our intuition and we go against what our heart is telling us to do. That's when we give our power away, right? When we entertain behaviors and conversations and people and situations that we can feel don't resonate with us and don't resonate with what we want to give our time and attention to. That's when we give our power away. When we hit and scream at our children and we don't want to. When we do anything we don't really want to do, that's when we give our power away. When our child is having a tantrum or a meltdown and we match that energy instead of using it as an opportunity to pause, breathe, become aware of what we're projecting, and forgive ourselves for when we've acted that way in the past. And forgive the one that's acting in a way that's triggering us. And then showing up from love and giving compassion, sending love. When we don't give ourselves permission to operate from that space, from the energy of our preference, whether that's joy, peace, understanding, or compassion, when we do give ourselves permission to operate that way, that's taking our power back. And when we don't give ourselves permission to pause and to operate the way we would prefer to transmute any negativity or low vibes we may feel when we're triggered and to operate from our preferred energy, when we don't give ourselves permission to do that, we are giving our power away, right? So it's not about becoming a conscious or empowered parent or becoming something specific or having to be a certain way. It's about taking your power back and recognizing that we have a choice. We may not have always operated. I didn't. We may not have always operated as if we had a choice. For many of our years, we may have operated unconsciously and as if, operating unconsciously and identifying with all of the thoughts that come and go and identifying with the shame and the guilt was all that we could do. But if you're listening to this, if you're listening to these words right now, you've woken up to the fact that you have a choice. We're recognizing that we have a choice. We can pause and choose route A, which leads to spanking, hitting, war in the home, and power struggles. Or we can choose option B that looks like prioritizing our peace in this moment. And we don't even know what's going to happen next, but we know that it's going to be from our intuition, more from our intuition, more from our peace, and more from our intention to parent from our peace. So whatever that outcome is, whatever happens from that intention, we know that's going to be something that's more in alignment with who we are than option A. So it's about recognizing that we have a choice, recognizing that you are powerful when you are at peace, that your peace is not weak. It doesn't mean that our children are going to walk all over us, or that we're not going to have any type of authority. It's recognizing that you are actually your most powerful when you are at peace. Your children are more likely to listen to you and receive your message. Even as infants, toddlers, school-aged children, they're way more likely to listen to you and take your instruction when you're speaking from the energy of peace. Because when we're speaking from any other energy of like rage, bitterness, resentment, anger, all that other stuff, it's not that kids or adults don't want to listen to you when we're speaking from those levels of consciousness, from those levels of energy. It's just, it's not wise. When they hear someone speaking to them or coming at them with an energy of like rage, anger, etc., of course that they might hop into fight or flight. Am I about to have to run away? Am I about to have to defend myself? You know what I'm saying? So it's hard for them to take in a message when their defenses may be up due to the energy that's coming their way. So our energy matters more than our words and our actions. That's why we can try to act gentle all day long, but it's never going to really produce the type of results that gentle parenting or conscious parenting is capable of producing if we are not energetically feeling peace, if we are not energetically aware of the peace that is within us and connected to it. So it's recognizing that you are powerful when you are at peace, and that recognizing that nothing can stop you from choosing peace, literally. Like, this is not about becoming a conscious or empowered parent or becoming a gentle parent. It's about prioritizing peace above all else and recognizing that nothing can stop you from choosing peace, literally. We have debunked so much, all of us, through our lives and through our experiences. We have debunked so much of what the mind will tell us. The mind will say you can't do this because you're a single parent. You can't experience deep peace and a connection to your source consistently because you are a single parent. You cannot be what you are meant to be in this life because you work a corporate job. These have been debunked through our experiences. Nothing is stopping you from remembering what you are. Not being a single parent, not working a corporate job, nothing is stopping you from recognizing that you have a choice and that you are able to take your power back and choose peace over and over and over and over again. Not having a family community. For some of us who we're not very strongly connected with our family. Our children aren't with our family a lot. For those of us who might have our mind saying that it's too hard because I don't have a village. You don't need a village. You need connection to the peace that's within you. And then who and what is supposed to show up to support you is going to. You need your connection and your willingness and your commitment and your devotion and your intention to be connected to the peace that is always within you. That is what you need. That is what allows you to operate from the genius within you, from the clarity that is available to you, instead of operating, speaking from, and acting from, and parenting from inner chaos, inner turmoil, and inner tension. You don't need a village. Your village will show up and match your vibration to the degree that you are giving yourself permission to vibrate and to be the energy that you want to be in this moment. What's the energy you want to experience more of in your relationship with your child? Be that. And others will show up that match that, right? These are not preventing us from taking our power back. Being a single parent, working a corporate job, not having a village, these are not stopping us from taking our power back. Being married, but maybe you feel as though you're the only one in the marriage who is really committed to parenting or breaking cycles and parenting from your peace, or leveling up in your ability to operate from more peace, or being divorced, or these are not stopping us anymore from choosing peace. They're not stopping us from taking our power back. They are actually helping us to see that nothing can stop us, so that you can be an example of that to so many of your brothers and sisters on the planet who are believing that those are hindrances to remembering what we are. There are so many of our brothers and sisters on this planet that do believe, because we've been conditioned to, that's being a single parent, divorced, or in maybe a relationship that doesn't really feel too resonant, or not having a village, a family around us all the time supporting us, or even not feeling like our finances are on point. There are so many of our brothers and sisters on this planet who believe that that is a hindrance to us remembering what we are and parenting from our favorite version of ourselves, parenting from our peace. But through our experiences and through our continued commitment to show up and to parent the way that feels more true for us instead of how we've been programmed, you, through your experience, are showing the world that those are not hindrances anymore. It's not about becoming a conscious or empowered parent or becoming something new or having to be a certain way. It's about unlearning and letting your intuition take over. Okay? Unlearning and letting your intuition take over. Unlearning all of the habits and patterns that no longer resonate with you and letting your intuition, your inner guidance, the genius within you, the peace within you take over instead. Well, Michelle, what's that going to look like? I don't know, but it's going to look better than us continuing to do the stuff that doesn't resonate with us. And we're going to experience more magic and more awe with what unfolds versus when we're continuing to perpetuate cycles and patterns that we continue to say over and over again we don't want to continue anymore. So it's unlearning and letting your intuition take over, right? Facing the unknown, going into the unknown with faith. Having faith that what manifests when you let go of the patterns that no longer resonate is going to be far more powerful, beautiful, magical than continuing the cycles that you no longer want to continue. It's also about making peace our number one priority, literally, and not only reading about it or conceptually and intellectually understanding the importance of and power of it, but literally taking intentional action steps daily. For years, I read and read and read before I had my daughter, right? Around 2012, when I had what many call a spiritual awakening, for years, it was reading and reading and reading and reading and reading my favorites, who I still love to this day, reading and reading and reading, and oh, this resonates, oh, this resonates, oh, that resonates, right? And it was beautiful, and it was all supposed to happen the way it happened. But it wasn't until I started to, by grace, have the inspiration to really take intentional action steps on what my teachers were telling me for so many years, right? It's not about making peace our number one priority by way of giving our attention to books and teachers and YouTube videos that really resonate. That helps. That's awesome. It's a part of the unlearning and relearning and remembering. But more than anything, it's using the many moments we have each day with our children to actually take intentional action steps daily in the direction of where we say we want to go. Intentional action steps daily that are in alignment with adding peace, balance, and harmony to our home environment, to our inner environment, and to our relationships with our children, right? Not just on Mondays or Sundays or Wednesday mornings, not just if we meditate, in the morning or at night, but actually giving ourselves permission to recognize that it's a moment-to-moment commitment, a moment-to-moment commitment. And it's like, well, Michelle, moment to moment, attempting to be at peace moment to moment. What do you want? You're expecting perfection? No, it's you're worthy of peace moment to moment. You're worthy of peace moment to moment. You're worthy of being connected to the peace and love within you moment to moment. You're worthy of that. So it's also about remembering that you are worthy and seeing how ridiculous it is for us to have ever believed otherwise. You were born. You came out of a vagina. At what point after coming out of your mother's vagina were you not worthy of love, peace, and compassion and understanding? Of course, we give it to the infants of the world, but at some point we've been programmed and conditioned to around 2.5, 3, 4 years old, chuck that out the window and be like, boy, you better earn this love. You better earn this peace. Right? We've been programmed and conditioned to give unconditional love to a newborn. But once they hit about 2.5, 3, 4, 5, and especially when they're like 7, 8, 9, 16, 18, it's like, you better earn my respect, earn my love, earn my adoration, earn. You got to earn it. You got to work for your worth. Bullshit. Bullshit. You are worthy. Your worth has never been up for debate. You are worthy no matter what has happened in your past. You are worthy. And if you're ever doubting that, ask yourself the question, why? Is there a logical reason that I am not worthy of feeling peace right now in this moment? And of course, your mind might say, oh, but that thing that you did 2 years ago, or that thing, or you yelled at the kids yesterday, you don't deserve peace. Bullshit. Bullshit. You will always be worthy of forgiveness and peace. Always. Just like your children. We're learning, we're growing, we're evolving, we're leveling up in ways that extend beyond our current comprehension. We're leveling up individually and collectively. And it can feel difficult, it can feel hard, and we've been programmed and conditioned to act a certain way. So please forgive yourself consistently for any time you act in ways that do not resonate with you. Give yourself permission to call them out and to set game plans for acting in ways that do resonate with you. But don't beat yourself up for acting in a way that you've been programmed to. Instead, use the awareness that you've been programmed and conditioned to empower you to make different choices and to take your power back by choosing to show up in a way that feels true for you, regardless of how we've been programmed and conditioned. Okay? So the mind will say, it's too hard. The patterns are too strong. It matters, but it's not really that important. Kids have been getting hit and screamed at for years, Michelle. It's part of their childhood. It's normal. The mind will say, it won't work for my kids, maybe other kids, but not mine. The mind will say, sounds good, but you don't know what I've done. I don't deserve this. I don't deserve the effort. I'm not worthy. My past is wild. I don't deserve the peace and love for my children, to be honest. Or the mind will say, it's going to take a lot of work and a long time to experience the benefit of all this. Right? Well, it might feel hard. The patterns might be strong, but it is possible and you are capable. And you wouldn't be listening to this part of this podcast if you weren't here to experience this. So it might feel hard to break these patterns, but you're worth it. And it is important to the degree that it matters to you. If none of this resonates, then no, of course, it's not important for you on your journey. But it is very important if it resonates with you. You are worthy of making things important that resonate with you, right? And yes, kids have been getting hit and screamed at for many years. It's been normalized, but it doesn't have to be your normal. That's how you take your power back, is by realizing that what's been normalized collectively doesn't have to be your normal. All children benefit from a peaceful home environment and from being parented by somebody who is in alignment with their core, who is at peace within themselves. It doesn't matter if a child has a disability. It doesn't matter if a child has been deemed, if you've been diagnosed like I was as ADHD, it doesn't, neurodivergent. It doesn't matter if your child has been told by doctors that they have, they're going to just behave disorderly for whatever reason. At this point, they've created there are so many diagnoses that are out there now. It doesn't matter what the diagnosis, the child does, every human being, particularly, especially children, benefit from a peaceful home environment, from peace being sent their way, from loving vibes being sent their way. So although the mind might say it won't work for my kids, maybe other kids, but not mine. No, my friend, your child is not the exception. They are not. They benefit tremendously from a peaceful world, from peace over war in the world and in the home. And so do you. And your past doesn't have any bearing on your choices that you're able to make right now. Each moment is a blank slate. Okay. And although it might seem like it's going to take a long time to experience the benefits of that, I'm so sorry to tell you. Sorry, not sorry, but that's not accurate either. I've been working with parents now for 4 years, and it takes, it still blows my mind to this day how quickly I'll receive an email from a parent who just may have started the $12 Parenting from Peace Now partnership with me, or who may be working with me for a month, 3 months, or 6 months in Leveling Up with Michelle. It still blows my mind to this day how quickly I'll receive a message from them. They've had a breakthrough. It does not take a long time to experience the benefits of taking intentional action steps. We've been programmed and conditioned to believe that it takes a long time to experience transformation, but it doesn't. your desire plus your intention plus your commitment and devotion plus your willingness to prioritize your peace plus taking intentional action steps daily plus holding yourself accountable and being gentle on yourself equals it not taking a long time at all to experience the benefits of this. Okay? All right. So the past may have taught us that, this is all about becoming something, becoming someone new, becoming someone better, right? But an affirmation before we part ways, I am giving myself permission to be myself now, to be my truest, most authentic version of myself now, and to show up as my favorite version of myself in general and with my child, and to practice giving myself permission to do so more and more and more each day. And by doing that, I am taking my power back. Every time that I make a choice from my peace and a choice that resonates and feels very relevant for me, I am taking my power back. And I am free to parent from my heart and to create my own life and parenting style that feels true for me. I'm looking forward to being with you guys in the next bite-sized, empowered, and peaceful parenting episode. Bye.